He was seemingly gone as quickly as he arrived. But what happened to Trytan, TNA's prospect in the early days of Impact? Real name Ryan Wilson, the 6'9" tall Trytan, billed as 6'11", began his career in 2001. Around the time TNA was getting off the ground, Wilson was wrestling mostly for Nashville-based USA Pro Wrestling, as well as managing a chain of Gold's gyms in the area. While injured, he got to know some of TNA's wrestlers who would come to the gym, and that was his way into the company. Wilson would serve as a member of Red Shirt Security, hired guns working for Jeff Jarrett in a power struggle with Eric Watts' Black Shirt Security. If you didn't know already, early TNA was a bit weird sometimes. After the dissolution of the Red Shirts, Wilson would disappear off screens in late 2003, following a loss to Raven, the Sandman and Eric Watts. This would take place in Raven's own gimmick match, the Clockwork Orange House of Fun. In 2004, Wilson would wrestle a few dark matches for TNA under a new name, Titus. It seemed though that TNA might have some big plans for Wilson after all, under yet another new name. For several weeks in early 2005, TNA aired cryptic hype videos filled with stock footage and color gradients. The video claimed that a man with superhuman power from a distant beyond was coming, which turned out to be a far cry from what we got. Trytan's first and only real feud would be with the alpha male of TNA, Monty Brown, who was coming off being a main event level world title challenger in previous months. At Destination X in March, the two would have their only singles match, in which Wilson didn't exactly look like a star. At one point, he lifted Brown for a press slam and almost dropped him at a scary angle, despite just managing to help him land on his back. After about 5 minutes, as Monty was going to attempt his pounce finisher, the lights went out in the impact zone, and when they came back on, a completely different bloke dressed in all black with a mask on was attacking Brown, who would promptly hit the pounce on him. Despite this man clearly not being Trytan, Monty would pin him anyway, but the official decision would be a no contest, as Trytan would be seen skulking up the ramp. None of this was ever explained, by the way. Like I said earlier, TNA was a bit weird back then. Trytan's TNA career wouldn't get much more impressive from there. He would gain his one and only singles victory on the following week's Impact, a 2-minute squash victory over Buck Quatermain. While he would begin to successfully team with Simon Diamond towards the end, Trytan would wrestle just 7 matches on this run, and would quietly disappear by June. After leaving TNA, Wilson would sign a developmental deal with WWE, which back then meant being shipped off to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Wrestling this time as Jacob Duncan, Wilson would achieve some success in OVW, even holding the heavyweight title for 50 days. That same title had not long before him been held by CM Punk in his stint in WWE developmental. At times, it looked like Wilson might get a chance on the main WWE roster, as he would wrestle a tour of house shows on the SmackDown brand in summer 2006, and another on the Raw brand in 2007, but as best I can tell, he never had a televised WWE match. Wilson would continue to wrestle in OVW through 2008, before seemingly leaving wrestling. What happened to Ryan Wilson once he left WWE in late 2008? Now, as of February 2024, when he appeared on the Two Man Power Trip podcast, Wilson is a father of 3, and a manager of, in his own words, a motorsports place. He also noted that he had a proper job in medical sales from around 2010 until the COVID pandemic hit, and that his last involvement in wrestling was around 2008, which is also when he left OVW. Ryan says he left the wrestling business on good terms, because despite spending time with The Undertaker and Kane, who he credits as positive influences on him, he never got his big break, and so he chose to start a family with his wife when his contract ended. Thank you for watching yet another wrestling channel. If you enjoyed this, please comment, like or subscribe.